This is Diana and welcome to Crafted Sweetly. In this video I will show you how to make your own air freshener with your Cricut. You can personalize it and make some really cool air fresheners. For this project you only need a few things. I'm using a UPO paper, which is the medium weight. Then the other thing, and what I did with the UPO paper was already color it with alcohol ink. So if you're not quite sure how to do this, I do have some other videos in terms of coloring the UPO paper with alcohol ink, but I wanted to show you the process just for putting together the air freshener and what I'm using for it. So this side is not colored. You can do both sides if you want, but I'm leaving one side white. So I cut out, with Cricut Design space, I put in a mandala and cut out two pieces out of it, out of this one. So here are the two pieces that I cut out from with using Cricut Design space. So this is the mandala that I cut out. You can certainly do any shape you want, any pattern, animals, flowers, whatever you'd like. I just chose this mandala. I'm partial to mandalas. So I cut these out, and then the other thing that you will need is air freshener paper. This is very compacted paper. It does come in different sizes. As you can see, I've got like 8.5 by 11. This is I think a 4 by 6. So it comes in different sizes and different thicknesses. So this one, as you can see, is pretty thick. This is slightly thinner. So you can see the thicknesses on these. I'm using the thicker one because then I can put the oil on there, the essential oil, and it absorbs more just because it's thicker. So what I did with this is I cut this same with the Cricut, and then I'm using the strong grip mat for this just to make sure that this doesn't shift as it's cutting out. And I use the balsa wood setting on it. You can use the smallest setting, you can try the chipboard, but I use the balsa wood because it is a pretty thick material. As you can see, it's kind of hard to bend. So that's the one that I used as far as the mat to cut this out. And I cut out a circle that I put in Cricut Design space that was just the size of the center of this mandala. So I will be gluing this to the center here. Let me get this out of the way. So you can do it a couple ways. You can certainly cut out two of these, and if you glue two of these together and then put one of each of these on each side. So if you have your UPO paper that's already colored with ink and you glue these two pieces together, and you see I've done a video with the same kind of idea but sandwiching this with some acetate and creating a sun catcher. So now I figured, I'm gonna make an air freshener. It's gonna be kind of cool. So you can glue these two together and then make two of these and put one on each side. But I thought what would be more interesting would be to cut these two out and then glue this in the center. So I'm gonna do that right now, and I'm using just the outer edge here as far as the glue. I'm using art glitter glue. It doesn't take a lot and it does dry clear. So I'm just going to put down the air freshener disc right in the center here. Make sure this is centered so you can see that it's right in the center there. And then I'm going to glue this to the back. Now make sure that this matches up. I mean, you can certainly offset it if you want to create a different look to it so you can see both sides. But this way each side has the blue and the white. I kind of like everything lined up so you can see the design better. So this is the way things are gonna line up here. So I'm just going to put art glitter glue again on this side. And I do have links below for the various supplies that I'm using. And then sandwich it down here. So I'm not gluing the UPO paper to UPO paper. It's just going to be just to the air freshener paper. And you can kind of see it's slightly separated, but that I think just adds to the interest. So if you have everything lined up on this side, then there is your very, very easy air freshener to make. So what I do is, you can take your favorite essential oil. I like a lavender, so you can just add a few drops of lavender to this and then let it soak into the air freshener paper. So you can kind of see, maybe it soaked it in. And then to attach this, I'm taking just some string. You don't want ribbon or something that's gonna distract from this, just because it's such a fine design. You kind of want to keep something thin to it. So you can pretty much, you know, attach this wherever you want. If you want to do it right at one of the tips, you can do it from here. But I think one of the tips will give it a little more length to it. So you don't have to get air fresheners that have that fake artificial smell. You can just use your favorite essential oil and put it in the center, and then just refresh as necessary. If you find that when you add the essential oil, some of the alcohol ink kind of dissolves onto the air freshener pad itself, as you can kind of see, slightly it gave it a tint. I think that just adds to it, to the charm of it, because then it kind of, the center blends in and it's not necessarily just white. So it's really nothing to worry about if some of that dissolves onto the air freshener pad. So I wanted to show you one more design that I cut out. Same again with the Yupo paper, and this is also done with alcohol ink. But I wanted to show you like something like this. Where would you put the air freshener? So this required a little larger disc. And usually I'll go into Cricut Design Space and kind of try and find where it would make sense. So I probably wouldn't want to, you know, if this is here, I wouldn't want to put it there. But I figured like right by his snout, it would be a good spot. So I'm going to go on this side because I'm going to put these two on top of each other. Okay, so I will do a glue right by where the snout portion is. And then just put the air freshener pad right on top of it. So I want this to glue. So now I'm going to turn this over because it'll be easier to position it. And then I'm going to do the same thing to this other side to glue this on here. So I just need to make sure that everything is lined up. So it's attached here. Now this one, because it's loose, you can glue these together, but I think by doing the thread, the ribbon here, or the whatever you're attaching it with, right at the top is going to hold it together. So you don't need to. You can, I guess I'll do the ears just a little bit to hold it in place. So I just added just a touch of the art glitter glue right by the ears, nowhere else. Okay, so that kind of held it together, and then I'll add the string right at the top. I guess I will add just a little bit of glue right by the eye as well to kind of hold it in place. The center is kind of on both sides to make sure that it stays centered. I will go down both sides of the opening. So there you have it. It goes right in the center here to hold it in place. And I'm just gonna tie a little knot at the top. So with this one, got another air freshener. Again, you can add your favorite essential oil to this. And you can have this hanging in your car versus, you know, the notorious Christmas tree. And this is just more personalized. As you can see, it's easy to make your own air freshener. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions, please comment below. Thanks so much and see you next time.